And good morning and welcome to the GDFL Netball Show. Cold, wet, windy Saturday. And of course, with me, as she normally is on a Saturday morning, is Flick. Flick, how are you today?
Morning, Birdie. Well?
Yep. I feel good today. I feel good.
Yep.
I think something good's going to happen today.
Really?
Yeah.
Like?
Might win Test Lotto. How'd you go last Tuesday? You win anything last Tuesday?
With what?
The $90 million draw.
Didn't even buy a ticket.
Come on, girl. Didn't buy a ticket.
No.
You can't win then. Also on the show this morning, we have a couple of guests in from the Werribee Netball Club. Joining us is the A-grade coach of the Werribee side, Christy Crowooler. Christy, how are you?
Well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well.
That's good.
Did I pronounce your surname okay?
You did, correct. Well done.
Fantastic. Also with us this morning is Susan Travis, and Susan is the captain of the under-17 Werribee side. How are you, Susan?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very good. How'd you go last week?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
We're doing well.
You played Belpost Hill last week, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did you have a win last week?
Yeah. By 4, I'm pretty sure.
4 goals.
Yeah.
Nice win. Always tough team, Belpost Hill to beat.
Yeah, it was a tough team, but we did well. Pulled through in the end.
Yep. All right. That's fantastic. Now, Christy, I'm glad to have you on the show at last. And we have the coach of the A-grade side. I mean, where's Sonia Harris? Sonia Harris can't make it along, and yet Christy comes all the way from Elwood to join us on the show. I mean, that's a big effort, and I do appreciate it. Now, Christy, I don't know whether you've heard over the last couple of weeks, but people complaining about netball courts and slippery and this and that. You got any comment you want to make or anything to say to anyone out there, or you?
Would we? Oh, first thing, our courts are on the way.
Right.
They are working on them. I know the Werribee committee, Alan Stewart, and a number of other people have put things in place to make sure that those courts will be up and running, hopefully as soon as possible. We were hoping to be on them round 9. Unfortunately, we weren't, but they will be completed soon. I know they were laying the concrete, I think, on Saturday. So, but we probably wouldn't be having this discussion had we have lost on that day, I think. Really?
And so, look, Thompson, just maybe sour grapes, or because they lost every game on the day, or what do you?
Possibly. I think I've heard this in the past, that there was another round they didn't want to play us a few years ago. But, I mean, those courts are in good shape. Those courts were laid 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what's wrong with them. And there was probably one person on the day that did continue to slip over, and that was a person on my team. So
really?
Yeah. I spoke to her at halftime and to see if she had a change of runners. She didn't, so she had to stick them out. But,
okay.
Yeah, there were no injuries on the day, and that's what we hoped for.
All right, then. Well, hopefully we put that to bed now. The court issue, dead and buried. It's just, Flick, I think it's a non-issue, really. It's
No, I think with a lot of the clubs getting new courts this year, it is a humongous job for any committee or anyone that is putting in that work behind the scenes. So the likes of Alan is obviously working tirelessly to get new courts for Werribee, and depending on the councils that we all have, sometimes it can be a very hard thing to get them pushed along and at a fast rate. So I think when discussing courts with any clubs, it's important to remember that if they are getting new clubs, they are making do in the meantime, but they are working very, very hard to get new ones as well. So
yeah, exactly right. Now, Christy, you're a non-playing coach, is that correct?
Yeah, non-playing coach this year. Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm there if they need me, but I don't think they need me at the moment. They're playing beautiful netball, but it's more just in case we're a couple of girls down. Often we have illnesses or injuries and things. But, I think that's one step we wanted to take forward this year, is have a coach on the sidelines who sees it just as a coach and not as a playing coach. And personally for me, I noticed last year it was becoming difficult playing and coaching, and we've got 10 fantastic players in the team, so I think a coach just to keep them and just be those eyes on the sidelines rather than playing is what we need, and it's proving.
Well, even as you know, I coached Belpost Hill for the last couple of years, and watching the opposition coach play the game and then trying to marshal the troops, and you're right, it's very hard to do, and even worse thing, you're female and you're coaching females as well, so you're trying to keep that yard's length away from the girls and be friendly and yet not get too involved with them because you are the coach, and
Yeah.
when you've got to lay down the law, I suppose.
Yeah, and that's it. That's exactly how I sort of feel. And also, I'm a centre court player, so it's not. It's again, the ball's always moving. You're moving in the centre court. It's hard to see what's going on. I have a great bunch of girls in the team. They're supportive of that. They decided after last year as well. Danny and I sort of sat down, and she made comment as well that we thought that that's what we needed, was someone that could just coach. So that's what I've decided to do this season, and I'm happy doing it. So
Okay. Now, of course, last season you disappeared for a little while.
yeah, I travelled last year. Lucky enough to travel the world. So yeah,
Fantastic.
and unfortunately thought I was qualified to play the grand final. I came home the night before, but realised a couple of days before that I hadn't qualified. So we were probably a little bit underdone grand final day with players.
Now, there's a goalkeeper in your side. I'm not talking about Amanda Wilson, because Amanda's playing B grade this year.
Yeah.
De Petro.
Yes,
What?
Ash.
Ashley?
Yep, Ashley. DePietro.
Now, I watched last year, and in the second semi-final, where we played Thompson, you
Yep.
were still overseas at the time.
Yep.
You were away for maybe 6 or 7 weeks, I think.
Couple of months.
Couple of months.
Yep.
Okay. And Ashley played on Nicole Trainer in the grand final, in that semi-final.
Yep.
And did a really great job.
Yeah.
I think she's really probably underrated as a defender, and probably
Yep.
one of the best defenders in the league.
Yep.
And then a couple of weeks later, of course, you play in the grand final, you're back from overseas, and Amanda Wilson takes the court.
Yeah.
Now, I watched you girls before the game started, and
Yep.
there seemed to be some lively discussion about who should maybe take the court, who
Yep.
should start off, Ashley and...
Yep. Yep. Unfortunately, on grand final day, they're the things you don't want to let out there, but Ashley was injured, had done her shoulder, I think it was, leading up to it, and I don't ever want to play someone grand final day who's underdone. And I felt that Amanda was fit, she was ready to go. Actually, in the grand final, I don't believe, did Amanda start on Nicole? Was it Nicole Trainer? Oh, she started on, yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah, Ash was injured, and then going back to grand final day, if you have a look at it, I put Ash on, and Amanda was doing a much better job playing that position. Again, they swapped. They then obviously put someone else into goal shooter. So, yeah, but that was purely injury, and Ash has suffered a few injuries throughout her 2 seasons at Centrals. You may have noticed on the weekend she was playing the splint on her finger, had broken her finger. So,
Right.
yeah, that was our reasoning behind that.
That was the reason behind it. Okay. And how did you do it, break a finger?
I play netball, but play midweek netball. So
Okay, all right. Well, that explains that then. I wasn't sure about that. I thought that there was a reason behind it, but there you go. Injury, and you won't play a girl if she's injured. Won't risk it.
no,
And then a big game like that as well.
yeah, exactly.
All right, stand by. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back in a minute to discuss last week's games.
I'm here to tell you how football is strong.